Welcome back to our John 14 Lookback segment. This is the part of our study where we look back at John 14 and appreciate the wisdom of Jesus and how he repeats the same principles and insights over and over again. And when we take the time to recognize this repetition and the depth there, then we can solidify it in our hearts even more. Or at least that's how I learn, through repetition and doing the same lessons over and over again in new ways. So for today's session, we've been talking about remaining in Jesus and just what that even means. And I wanted to take a look at John 14, 20 to 21, because I think these are very powerful verses and they really tie into some other John 15 verses. So John 14, 20 to 21. On that day, you will realize that I am in my Father, and you are in me, and I am in you. Whoever has my commands and keeps them is the one who loves me. The one who loves me will be loved by my Father, and I too will love them and show myself to them. So first and foremost, this chunk of verses, it reminds us that Jesus is in the Father. And if we're in Jesus, then we have that connection to the Father. He is the go-between. He is that bridge between us. And that relationship and that hierarchy is just really key for us to remember, because we should remember our place in the equation and remember where we should be growing from. And it's not from ourselves. It should be from Jesus. And I just find it interesting how much Jesus is talking about love. He's saying that if we love him, we will keep his commands, and he will love us, and we will see him if we are keeping his commands and loving him. And in John 15, verses 9 and 10, they say, "As the Father has loved me, so have I loved you. Now remain in my love. If you keep my commands, you will remain in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commands and remain in his love." So again, Jesus isn't asking us to do something he isn't or hasn't. He is obeying his Father's commands and staying in his Father's love and loving his Father. And we should be doing the same thing. We should be following Jesus's commands, which, like in our last segment, we saw that they are God's commands ultimately, because Jesus speaks under God's authority, not his own. And when we remember the things that Jesus told us and that God has told us, and we're remaining in love, then that kind of summarized the whole the whole study, the whole John 14 and 15. It really comes down to remaining in his love. And if we are loving him, then we will obey his commands. We will, that the things are very correlated. If we don't love God, then we're not gonna want to obey his commands. And if we don't obey his commands, it kind of shows that we don't love him. So I'm just going to read those verses again and see if anything else stands out to you. So John 14, 20 to 21. On that day, you will realize that I am in my Father, and you are in me, and I am in you. Whoever has my commands and keeps them is the one who loves me. The one who loves me will be loved by my Father, and I too will love them and show myself to them.